Well, it is December 21st, 2021, and I am having a rather difficult time dealing with the cold weather. It makes me rather tired, so my fatigue is there. And I don't know, I think sooner or later my body will acclimate to it. And I think that happens quite often. But there is a point of oh, how long is this going to last? And am I going to be fatigued with regards to this cold weather? I'm just thinking. And I've kind of come to the realization that, and it's always a realization that's been there, that you should keep your interaction with people that are mentally unstable uh, with rather minimal. Certainly, there are threats out there, but a person has to realize what the threats are and where they are. It's always good to be prepared for that. But it's also good to live your life. And people that are a little bit over dramatic and over dramatized, not a good thing. I did mention that on Sunday, I watched the film West Side Story, which is a dated film. And the friend I went to see it with didn't enjoy it at all. I enjoyed it much more than they did, but I'm used to classic films and I am used to I'm more tolerant of dated material, and I have more tolerance for older films. And one of the things, hopefully, if I can overcome my procrastination, is I may write an article that will be transcribed on dated films. But I think I would call it the woke history in media, and I'll deal a lot with cinema itself, how cinema has an impact on people's lives, and so does the media. And there are whole movements that have sprung up over hysteria. And this isn't the first time of hysteria, but I'm given to the impression that often information promotes hysteria. Before the Great Depression of the 1930s, we had had depressions before, but I think because mass media became much more of a thing in the 1930s, that it may have driven panic. I could be absolutely wrong on that. And actually, America in the 30s went through two depressions. We had one, I believe, in 1937 as well. But that's a whole other whole other story. For a while in the 1970s and throughout the 1980s, we had a kind of happy days view of the 1950s, and everyone would thought, despite the racism, and for white people it was pretty good, but poverty was far worse than it was today. People lived in very poor conditions. It just was, from my understanding, it was just a much better improvement than the 1930s, and people did have more dispendable cash. But I'll get into that when I do my films, my thing about media and how it drives a certain narrative and what is reality. And it's certainly not found in films and in the mainstream media, and much of the mainstream media. Reality sometimes is slow in coming, and sometimes it can come a lot faster. Anyway, I do have to get to work, so this is going to be a rather short broadcast. I hope everyone can like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And visit our website at transparencyandmerit.com. And also, maybe perhaps share this if you've gained anything from it. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Donning Armor. Thank you, High Ridge Estates. Thank you, Master Rope. Thank you all for listening.